Okay, welcome back. So in the last video, what we looked at doing was creating a web form where we could, just change my date a bit here, where we could hit save. It would save our information to a database, which we can't see just yet, and then redirect to this page called albums.php. So far, we haven't created the albums.php page. As a result, you can't see it. So let's build that now. Okay, so we'll call this albums. Okay, and then what we're going to do here is, let me just lay out our game plan. So step one, we're going to connect to the database. Step two, create a SQL command. Step three, we'll prepare and execute the command. Okay, so basically what we want our page to do here is the exact same thing that SQL Workbench is doing, right? So when we run the command select star, like select all the columns, that's what star means, from albums, right? So if I run that command, right, here's all of the rows, columns in our table. So basically we want to display this, but on a web page. So these are the steps. So first we'll have to connect to the database. We'll create a SQL command. We'll then prepare and execute that command. We'll store the results in a variable. I'll probably call it something like albums, because that's storing all the albums. Close the connection, and then we just have to loop over top of that albums variable and display the results. So let's get at it. So create a variable called connection, or con, equals new PDO. Again, I'm using my local host. You can easily use your AWS account. And then our SQL command, going back to Workbench, it's exactly this. I just want to select star from albums. And then what that'll return is an array, and each position in the array is equivalent to one row in my table. So I can just loop over each of those rows or each of those positions in the array to get access to my albums. So I'm going to say SQL equals, and inside of here I can put my SQL statement. I'm going to prepare and execute the command. So I'm going to say command equals, take the connection, prepare the SQL statement. And then to create a new variable, I just have to do $, and then I'm going to call it albums. And there's a couple different items here. There's fetch all and fetch. So we want fetch all, which will return all the rows. And close our connection. And then what we want to do is display the results in the table. And this is really pretty similar to just basic HTML here. So I'm going to say echo. And then everything inside of these single quotes is, in fact, it's just HTML. So we're going to echo here. We'll make it a table. And then on each row, we'll put in a table header for title. And I like to break this over a bunch of lines. I'll leave it up to you which you prefer. So we're going to title, year, artist, another table header for genre. Okay, hit save. So even at this point, if I refresh, now we can see the albums, that header, and title, year, artist, genre here from our table header. And then what we're going to do now is we're going to loop over the albums array. Okay, so we're going to loop over the albums array to display each album as a new row. So to do that, I'm going to say for each. That's how I'm going to loop. Okay, so I'm so what this is albums is what we see here in step 4, right? So this is all the records, or all the rows in our table. So each individual row is referred to as album. So in this loop, if I look at it this way, first time through the loop, it's going to give me this album. The second time through the loop, it'll give me the next album. Okay, album being singular. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say echo, and I'll create a new table row. And inside that table row, I'm going to have table data. So for example, I could put in, oops. So I'm going to, this is HTML inside of here. Now I need to be working with my variables in PHP. So I put a closing quote here, put a dot to append my PHP to my HTML, and then I'm going to say album. And then I can refer to the individual field in the album. So if I want, the first one is title. So I have to use the exact same name as what we called it, right? Title. So if I refer to title here, hit save. Right? When I say hit save, I'm doing Control S on my keyboard. It's the same as going File, Save All. Okay, so if I hit refresh, now I can see all of the titles in here. And we'll do some more table data. And the next one we can do is year. Hit save, go back, I hit refresh, there's all my years. And if I do table data again, hit save, refresh, there's my artists. And one more time for the genre. Okay, we didn't have any genres populated, so none of them show. Now it's very important that you spell these exactly the same. So for example, if I spelled that as year, but even with an uppercase A, when I hit refresh, I'll get all these errors. And you can see none of the years are populated. And it says it's an undefined index. It does not know what year is. See how it's showing us that? And it says it's on line 38. If I come back in to my albums.php page, I can see, oh, there's line 38. Change that back to lowercase, and it's happy. So the next thing we got to do is we need to apply some style to our table, because right now it's not that aesthetically pleasing. So let's see here. We can add a few things. So let's do class equals table. Refresh. save, refresh. Hey, how come that's not? I didn't put in our Bootstrap classes. So that's why we're not getting any of the Bootstrap properties. So let's go here to our, I went to the album details page. I'm just going to copy Bootstrap over from what we had before. And I'm going to show you in a later video how we can get around having to copy and paste this all over the place. All right, hit save. Now that we have Bootstrap, we can automatically get a nicer looking table. And then we can add in some other classes like table striped. And then when I refresh, there's some subtle banding in here. It helps differentiate the rows a little bit. And then I can do table hover. Hit refresh, and now when I hover over it, it's going to give us a little bit better behavior again. So there you have it. So that's displaying in the table. The next step, what we're going to do is in our next video, we're going to add a drop-down menu here for genre and add that to our table. All right, thanks very much. We'll see you soon.